Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are talking about okra, but first things first, we got to let the chickens out, so let's get right into that. All right, now that all the chickens are out, they get to have some fun, go hunting for some food. We can get right into our okra plants over here, so let's go. So these are my okra plants. You can see I have a couple okra that are ready to harvest right here. I have a bunch inside that I've harvested over the past couple days. So I'll harvest what I can get out here right now, and then I'll bring them inside and we'll mix them in with the other ones and we'll get them all washed up. Okay, so before I get into harvesting, I really want to talk about okra a little bit. I really love growing okra down here in Florida. I believe I'm in zone 9B, if I'm correct. And this just grows absolutely well here. I mean, in the summer heat, this okra just thrives and goes absolutely crazy. I probably harvest, I'd say 4 to 5 okra per day off of this. I had another video of me harvesting some of these and I ended up losing it. But yesterday I harvested 6 okras off these. I'm hoping I'll at least be able to get like 3 or 4 of them today. But this actually grows so well out here in Florida that I just planted a whole nother bed of it. So we don't get our first frost until September. So we have about 5 months probably until we get this next frost. So I'm hoping that this okra bed over here will do really well and grow nice and tall. And hopefully we'll still get a lot more okra out of these for many more months to come. All right, so I got 3 pretty small okra right now. Typically I'd harvest these a lot bigger than they currently are. This one's a little bit more of the size that I'm looking for, about the length of your index finger. But that's okay. I'm gonna cook these a slightly different way. We'll focus on that once we get inside. But I saw this and I wanted to show you guys how I harvest these okra to keep them growing vertically. You can tell I have a lot of okra in a small space right here. So it's really important that I keep these okra growing vertically rather than starting to grow outwards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut this just below the node right here, right where the stem branches off into the leaf and where the okra is made. And the reason I'm gonna do that is when I break that off, it's gonna keep it going upwards rather than outwards. And then any of these leaves that you see here that don't have okra on them, that didn't have okra, what I'll do with these is I'll just leave these leaves typically. And if they get too low, like let's say this one right here, I'll literally just take it and just break it right off the plant. And then I put that down into the garden bed as mulch. Now, I know there's weeds in here. This is my first garden bed. That's a topic for a different day. So let me go ahead and cut this. I'll show you guys what I mean. All right, there we go. So you can see here that just below that node, I just cut it right off, and that will keep this plant growing vertical. I can break that right off of there. And then we have our okra, and that won't grow another stem coming out of it. Like I said, these ones I'll leave, but this keeps this plant growing straight upwards. All right, let's bring these okras inside. We'll get them washed up and we'll get on with this video. All right, guys, so we're back inside now, and I have all of this okra here in a strainer. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse all of this off, and then when I'm done, we'll go ahead and get this on the cutting board and we'll start getting it prepped. So let's go ahead and get this washed. All right, go ahead and dry this out, and then we can get this cut up and prepped. So to get started here, what I'm gonna do is just simply cut the tops of these off, like so. And just cut those off. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here and do this to all of them. So now that all of these are done, I can go ahead and move on to the next step, which is going to be prepping these for how I want to make them. So I'm going to make these 3 different ways. I'm going to make one type I'm going to do in the air fryer, and this is just going to be air fried okra. And then the other type I'm going to do on the stove, which I'm going to make okra fries, and I'm going to do my regular blackened okra. So the way I do my okra fries is I take these and just cut these right in half, just like that. And I'll do that to quite a few of these here. Just make sure you guys can see it, and just start splitting these apart. And I can even do some of these with my fried okra as well. I think I will actually. Oops, I got a little messed up. So okay, So that's one way I'm gonna cut these. The other way that I'm gonna cut these for some of the other fried okras is just in chunks. Like that. All right, so that's another way that I'm gonna cut them. It's just in little chunks like that, about a 1/2 inch. And then the last way that I'm gonna do it is just my regular blackened okra. So I'll make this for like my lunches and stuff like that. And these are just thinly sliced. And you can see that there. These are just thinly sliced okras. And then I'll blacken these on the stove with a little bit of olive oil. So I will go ahead and get the rest of these prepped, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, cool. So I got all of these prepped, and if you remember me telling you earlier, I had a couple of these that were a little smaller than I would have liked. The way that I'm gonna make these is I'm just gonna fry the entire okra. So rather than cutting them up or anything like this, I'm just gonna bread and fry the whole thing in the air fryer. So now that all of this is done, we have what we're gonna air fry, what we're gonna blacken, and then the okra fries that we're gonna make, which are really just like blackened okra as well. It's just a little more blackened than what we're gonna do here. So let's get right into cooking these. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the fried okra first. So all I'm gonna do is take my okra pieces here, plop them into my egg wash. Go ahead and get them nice and coated. All right, now I'll take these out, plop them straight into my flour. My flour has a little bit of cayenne in it, a little bit of cayenne powder, a little bit of paprika powder, and just some black pepper just to give this a little bit more of a kick. So I'm just gonna plop all this in here like that. Give this a nice little shake just to get these coated. I should have done these a second later, set these aside. So now that these are coated in flour, I'll pop these back in the egg wash. Try to make it so you guys can see here. Coat these back up, and then these are gonna go right into the breadcrumbs and then right into the air fryer basket. So I can give these a good shake here, get these nice and coated well. All right, now I can pop these directly into the air fryer. Alright, and these already have the egg wash on them, so I'll pop them in the flour, get these coated, and do the same thing with these. Alright, just nicely coat the okra, pop those right into the air fryer. Now what I like to do to these once I pop them in the air fryer is spray them with a little bit of oil, just because I feel like it makes them a little bit more crunchy on the outside. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to turn my air fryer here and power this on. I'm going to turn this up to 400 degrees, set my time to 15 minutes, and then I will go ahead and pop them in. So I'll spray this oil on in about 5 minutes. Oops. That was a fail. And those are gonna cook for a full 15 minutes on 400 degrees. So I'll update you guys once I spray them with oil. All right, while we wait on the fried okra, we can go ahead and get started on this other type. So I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in this pan here, put a little bit of oil in this other pan. And this is how I'm gonna do the other 2 types of okra. So our okra fries, we can just go ahead and plop right in here. And then the okra that we are just gonna slightly blacken, I'm gonna put right in here. Try to get most of these so they're not touching. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and let these start blackening a little bit, and I'll update you guys in about a minute so this video isn't too long for you guys. But basically, you just want to put these in the oil. Might be a little too warm on that one. You want to keep tossing the ones that you're going to do like this, and you're going to have to do these ones like this as well. But you just want to keep tossing them. Keep them on that heat. Alright. Alright, well, since I'm not making as much as I usually would, I guess these aren't going to need quite as long as I thought. They've only been in there for about 6 minutes already, so I'm going to go ahead and spray them with a little bit of oil here. Mix these around. You can see they're already pretty crispy. We'll put them back in there for probably only another 3 minutes. So I will turn that back on, and in 3 minutes we will come back to these. So I'll turn this down. We'll see how those come. Okay, so these have been on for a couple minutes now as well. This is the perfect time to season them. So I'm going to put a little bit of paprika on them, just to give them a little bit of color. I'll put some cayenne pepper, just for a little bit of kick. You can kind of season this however you'd like. This is just how I like to do it. And then we'll put some garlic powder on there. And we'll go ahead and mix that up. So you can see on some of these, like this one, you can see it's getting some nice color there. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to give these guys a couple more minutes, and then they should be done. All of these sides that were down, I'm going to try to flip over now so the other sides get cooked. And they're nice and even. Alright, well, this camera battery is going to die, so let me go change this battery, and I'll update you guys once they're all done. Okay guys, so these okra are done. I'm going to go ahead and turn this heat off. You can see they got some nice color to them. Kind of what I wanted. The first time I had okra like this was at a restaurant. They were done a lot more than that, actually. They were almost black. A little more than I would have liked, and I tried them like this. I've loved it ever since. So these ones are done as well. They got still a good green color to them, but they were all slightly blackened. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And then if I bring the camera over here, these just beeped. Look at that. Those came out great. So I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back down here, show you guys the final product. I'll wrap this up. All right guys, there you have it. We have our fried okra right here, our blackened okra right here, and then our okra fries are here. I really can't stress enough how much I love these okra fries. They're so healthy and they are so good. My girlfriend absolutely loves the fried okra that I make, and these go great with just about any meal. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. As always, all products you saw used in this video will be linked in the description below. And don't worry, all of the scraps will go to the chickens tomorrow morning. So thank you guys, have a good day.